All right, I know what you're thinking. You've seen the thumbnail. Is he really going to tear his whole factory down? Yes, I am, in just a minute, in fact. And I'm going to do it for two small reasons and one big reason. First, keep in mind, this is all blueprints, right? So I can just like delete that, right? Like we can tear the factory down in 10 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. The other thing is all the stuff down below that we've been working on the last couple episodes, that can all stay. I'm not moving the factory. We're just changing everything above. So we can tear it down easy and all that work, we get to keep it. So what are the reasons I'm tearing it down? Well, lights. That's the first small one. I didn't put lights in the original blueprint. I couldn't afford them is why, and I really still can't, but I mean, I kind of got to do it now. I went and experimented, and I've got global illumination on right now, and you can see it's kind of dark up there, and there's light down here because there's actually a couple of lights. And I want to be able to do that, and it looks really cool having lights. I went and experimented trying to put lights in and trying to fill an entire thing with lights and get them to snap into nice rows. There's just no way. It's like 1,000 times more complicated than just change the blueprint, tear it down, and rebuild it. But that's only one minor reason. The other one is height. Right now, our logistics floor right here is only 4 walls tall. And then our production floor is 6 walls tall. And then there was going to be another logistics and another production. So, oh, look, right here, somebody made a little thing. So here's our logistics floor, production floor. The machines were going to feed down through the floor and feed down to the logistics floor. It was going to come around. It was going to go up. We're going to have the other logistics floor feeding another production floor. So I already said right now, the logistics is 4 walls high, production 6 walls high. Well, the problem with logistics is if we, for example, have 9 conveyor belts of iron and we get that to the logistics floor, it might 4 might not be tall enough. So I kind of wanted to go to 6. The production floor, though, it was 6 high because I wanted to be able to stack, like if I had a whole bunch of constructors, and I wanted enough room to put another kind of a mini floor on top of it. And there's not quite enough room in testing because of how many conveyor belts and stuff I'm going to have. So we need to make the production floor higher. That's technically still another minor reason, though. The real problem is how many production lines we can fit in. Because in between 2 pillars, I can have 2 lines. And then down on the end, I can only have like half a line, right? So if I come back here and I look, and so down there is steel, right? And then we were going to bring the iron in, so I could have steel ingots. We could do 2 iron. We could do copper and Caterium. Then silica and crystal coming up from the truck building. Then we've got concrete, black powder, and compacted coal because we've got the coal and the sulfur. And then I could bring reanimated sand ore. That's it. I can only have 12 things on the first floor, and there's 12. And then when we go to the second floor, I could only have 12 more things. So if I just do the most basic, taking the steel and making beams and pipes and the plates and rods and out of the iron and wire and cable and sheets out of the copper and the quick wire from the Caterium. Okay, now we've only got 4 spots left to start making things that require more than 1 input. Screws, reinforced plates, encased beams, stators. Okay, yep, you're out of space now. The factory's out of production lines. We haven't made rotors, motors, modular frames, AI limiters, sand fluctuators, crystal oscillators, or literally anything else in the game. So, man, when I built this, I'm like, oh, that's so big. I never added it up, though. Like, well, there's only 12 lines. Now, does each line need to go all the way to the back? Could we have, in the front something and then behind it something? Yeah, we could. I don't want to do that right from the start. Could we have something on the first, floor and then on kind of that little half floor above, we could do a different item? Yeah, but again, I don't want to do that right from the beginning. So we're going to tear it down in just a second, and we're going to go to this. And what this is, like here, I was just doing the production floor where it feeds down to the logistics floor. Production floor feeding down to the logistics floor. Because I didn't want, so here's our production floor. I don't want a machine here and a conveyor going all the way up through the roof. Well, 12 items, not enough. So we're going here. There's a logistics floor, and it's got a production floor below and above. And then another logistics floor with the production floor above and below. Right? So these machines will feed up. Those machines will feed down. So these 2 production floors are run by this logistics floor. And then it's the same thing here, right? You got these 3 floors, and it's just repeated. And then our main bus goes around in a circle like before. But now we've got 12, 24, and another 12 and 24. So now we're going from 24 items to 48 items we can make. Plus, I can put more than one thing in a line, and I could go onto a second floor. So, I mean, we could easily do technically 150 or something items in here. We're not going to do that many because our main bus, there's only spots for like 45 conveyors, which is why when I realized there was only going to be 12 things I could make, I'm like, nope, that's not going to work. So this is what we're going to go to. We're going to tear the whole thing down. Let's go to a time lapse. One of the things I guess I should have said at the beginning, I did add a couple new mods. I'm trying to not do a modded playthrough. I had to add Infinite Nudge, and honestly, I'm glad I did. It's so many of these things Infinite Nudge has allowed me to do that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do. So I did see in Satisfactory 1.1, and here's the second mod we'll talk about in a second, but I did see in 1.1 that they are adding vertical nudge. Now, I don't know. Infinite Nudge gives you these really fine controls where I can move something 1 centimeter at a time. So we'll see if the base game does that. The second mod, well, I guess we'll talk about this one first. So it was flying through the factory, and I've seen people where they just leave a big hole and let it fly through the factory. And I was totally cool with doing that, but where it was going to fly through the factory was where all the conveyors were, and it was going to literally fly through all the conveyors. It was going to look silly. So the other mod I got is like manta ray height something. I don't know. I'll put it up on the screen. But it basically once a minute, it runs a calculation to see how high everything is under its flight path. And then it makes it fly higher. So we can just keep building the building taller and it'll just keep flying higher. So that's the second mod, right? That's all it does is makes that thing fly higher, because I did not realize that the manta flies so low right through here. The third mod you've already seen, Fix It Cam. I built a big pillar. I went up there. I looked down here, and then you type some commands in and get it to set a camera, and then it'll do a time lapse from that point, which you've just seen. So those are the 3 mods we're working with right now. I'm trying not to do mods, but man, I need the Infinite Nudge. The manta ray thing, I mean, we don't have to have that. And then the Fix It Cam, yeah, that's going to make time lapses a lot better. And I did see also in 1.1 that they're adding the new camera mode, which it looks like it's going to replace the Fix It Cam. So I'm happy with that. So we got the whole factory tore down. Now I need a lot more resources in order to build the new factory back up, because yeah, I've got all the resources from what I just tore down. They're all in these containers right here. But I'm adding signs and I'm adding lights. Well, and by lights, I mean signs. We're adding signs that are going to be the lights, and then we're adding signs that are going to be signs. I did look at using the actual lights in the game, and it's not even that they draw an enormous amount of power, which they do. It's the way they're spotlights instead of, you know, normal like a light you would have in a factory where it diffuses out more. They're all just like spotlights, like a, you know, flashlight aiming down. So I don't like how they look, and it's weird. It's like the game can only do so many individual light sources. So you'll see, like if I had the giant factory here and I had all the regular lights in, the lights only go out a certain distance and are on, and behind that they look like they're off. But as you move towards them, more turn on and then more turn off, and it's kind of distracting. So we're going to go with the signs. I'll explain that when we get to the blueprint. But long story short, I need a bunch of stuff for that. So I've got a little crystal thing going down here. Got a couple constructors, some storage containers. I've had this truck running, bringing us more crystal. And I just need, so it's the raw quartz, and then it turns into the, is that called the crystal? I don't remember. Whatever that is, the stuff that's on the trays. We need a lot of that. I had to hook that building back up. So I ran 1 iron, 1 copper, and 1 limestone in there, and I've got it running again, getting us some more stuff. And then I had steel production over here temporarily. I tore it down. I had to put it back, and then I tore it down, and then I put it back again. And I've got a little Caterium thing going over there too, just to get us stuff for this next part here. So what you're going to see is a couple time lapses all put together, because I've got a certain number of resources and I'm going to build but then I got to stop and wait for some more and build. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. All right, here we go. Rebuilding the factory. Okay, so in the time lapse, you just watched me finish this floor, which is the last logistics floor. There's one more production floor, and I've got just enough stuff just to put one of them down, which is going to be, yep, logistics and then production, front row. Get it to snap to that. It should be pretty close. And that way. Okay, so this will be the top production floor. Hello, sign. That'll be the top production floor. So obviously I need a lot more stuff to finish this. And then up there will technically be the roof. So there won't be anything up here except a flat roof. But I figured, hey, the stairs go all the way up. Might as well go up just a little farther. Nope, not there. Go up a little farther, and then you'd be able to walk out on the flat roof. And I guess I could tear this down. I don't... The camera, the virtual camera is still up there, so... I don't think I'm gonna... Even if I need to do more time lapses from that point, I'll still have the camera. Yeah, I can't do anything. So if we get back here, so the roof will be there. That's the top production floor. Logistics floor and production floor, right? So this production floor and this production floor are served by this logistics floor. And then you've got production, and logistics, right? So that production and that production are served by this logistics. And yeah, there you go. Now, obviously, we haven't put the walls on the outside. I'm still not planning on doing that until I'm done because I want to use glass and all kinds of stuff that I don't have right now. I'm thinking I'm going to use these concrete. It'll be a half circle inside, and then we'll continue the circle outside. So it'll go all the way down, and then I'll thinking, you know, I mean, I'll definitely do it on the back. I guess the sides. I got to figure something out with the structure too. Like this, I think it's probably strong enough that a building like this could hold itself up just from the vertical, you know, weight pushing down. But if the wind pushed against this, the building would fall right over because there's no diagonal anything in here. And I didn't want to put diagonals in because I didn't know where things were going to be. So at some point, we got to do some sort of diagonal bracing, a fair amount of it to make the building look realistic. But otherwise, I think we're kind of where I wanted to be, and we can go ahead and get started with the episode. I do want to say, so the blueprints, you can see I've got the giant signs as lights, and yeah, it looks really good. It looks way better than if you use the actual lights. Just these diffuse better. The blueprint, the iron is going to have 9 conveyors, right? And I shouldn't have anything with 9 conveyors. So the blueprint I set up, and this is in the middle of 2, like that's a blueprint and this is a blueprint, right? So I couldn't put that one in, but this one's set up for 9. Every other one should need less than that. So we'll just delete some. And then the signs on the iron, there's 9 conveyors here, right? So one of these needs 4 and one needs 5. I just made every one 5. So this will be too much on every other line, but I figure it's a lot easier to delete stuff than it is to add stuff because I don't have to have the resources on me. I've already got all my resources are here. We'll just take some stuff away as we do it. So that's that. That's the lights. Those were the big differences. Is this is now 9 walls high instead of 6. It's got lights and we've got signs and we've got the floor holes. So because this is the first floor, the raw resources are going to come up through these floor holes and feed the machines, but the finished products will go up onto the logistics floor, right? Because this floor is served from technically above. It's just our raw stuff is going to come up from below. And then the logistics floor will feed up to the one above it. So I think that is really the big changes there. And then the other 3 production floors are identical to this, and the 2 logistics floors are identical to how they were before. They have lights now, and they are 6 tall instead of 4 tall. So that's the factory. I believe I've got everything I need. Now I want to say one thing. The Explorer, I did load this save in a creative world, and I flew over there in creative. And the Explorer is over there. It's up on top. Somehow when I was in the cave, it just popped up onto the surface. It's not an easy area to get to, so I'm not going to be going to get that anytime soon. I probably need a jetpack to get to it. We will at some point go and recover the Explorer. I do want to build another one. I've got 3 of the tractors, of the sugar cubes. I have no idea which one's the original and which are the 2 newer ones, but I do know that the one Explorer over there is the original, so I'm not going to make this one yellow. I don't know what color I'm going to make it, honestly. I'm not crazy about that. But there's only going to be one yellow Explorer, because that's the original. All right, that really had nothing to do with anything, but we had to do that. Don't know. I'm sure no matter how I do this, I'm not going to get everything I need. Get rid of some of these. Get some of these. I need a slightly bigger inventory. All right, so the first thing that's going to be down here is steel. We're only going to need 2 belts, 1 iron, 1 coal. So I can get rid of that. I can get rid of this. And of course, my inventory's full. I shouldn't have done that. All right. So we've got the blueprint for the foundry. We're going to need 2 of them. We're going to need 1.5. I think I need 6. So here's my blueprint. And I got to remember. No, it's this way. That's, yep, that's that way. Okay, so this... I think that foundation goes there. Yep. Yep. Okay, I think that's correct. And then we take this out. This is just here for alignment. Okay, so I've got the two things there, so we'll run one into one and one into the other. I've got it set up for catwalks. We've got to put something down here where I can get down here, but I've got catwalk where once I'm up here, I can run along on both sides. It connects together. Yeah, never mind that. Sticking up. And then there's the occasional ladder, so if you're down there, you can get back up on the catwalk. So I think, like I said, we need 6 of these. So I need to run down here, and I need to put this down again, but then I can delete half of it. Actually, let me just do this. And I think that should be correct. Oh, I just did the whole blueprint too. Let's try that again. Try that again. Okay. Switch off blueprint mode. Just get rid of that. I'll have to connect that together and that together. And then we'll have to, like I said, I need 2 of these and I don't need the other 2. So I'll come down here and delete those in a minute. And then this is how I ran the power. So originally I've got power up there and I was going to run the machines down, but then we moved it from 6 high. It didn't look great at 6 high, but then we moved it from 6 high to 9 high. Now, like, I don't want the machines, like all these cords going way up there. So for this, I did it like that. Now we're going to come over. So that'll be the steel. I guess, should I hook it up? Nah, let me hook it up in a second. I'll do a little bit off camera. So now the smelters. So this is the iron. This is the big one. And the way I did the smelters, the first one is a 9 to 7, right? Because we've got 9 belts. I've got to lower it down 1. Okay, that goes there. And that one's centered. Yep, that looks correct. Okay, so we'll have 9 conveyors coming up. So that's why this blueprint is 9 to 7. It's got, don't worry, there's conveyors in there. They just haven't shown up yet. So it's got 9 conveyors. 7 of them are going to pass down. 2 of them are going to get used, right? And so the next one, I need to get, yeah, and the same thing. We've got to, yeah, see, I can't get up there easily. Let me come up here. We've got to get a way down, and it's just not in the blueprint, but we'll put a way down and we'll get up to these catwalks. So this is the 9 to the 7. So now the next one we're going to need is going to be the 7 to the 5. Okay, and same as the other, the foundry ones, I've got to make some connections over there, and I've got to make some connections here and some connections over there with conveyors. We will run down here. And the next one's going to be the 5 to 3. I'm down here, and then we're going to be on the 3 to the 1. And I did not plan this out. Okay, we had 9, and I'm like, oh, okay, so how many do I need? And then I started doing the math. Okay, we need more plates. Yeah, I couldn't hold everything on my inventory. So I just started doing the math, and I'm like, okay, this blueprint will take 2. So you're using up 2, you're using up 4, you're using up 6. And then the next one, you're going to use 8. And then there's half of one left, which is 9. And it makes it all the way to the end. It just randomly ended up being exactly perfect, which I'll take because that never happens. Yeah, so if you're down here, just occasionally there's a ladder. And there are, as I said, I wanted the possibility of having a second floor. And this was the issue, was that in order to have 9 conveyors and be this high, then the floor is going to be above me, and then I need enough room to put this again, which there is. It doesn't look like it, but there is. Let's come shooting down here. Now we're on the 3 to the 1. Right, and so there's one conveyor left, and I could have done 8 down one side, but oh, it's short. There's just room for 4 on each side, which is exactly what I need for one conveyor. So then we've got the 1 to the 0. And it goes all the way to the end perfectly. And that is exactly the right number of smelters to do 9 conveyors, 240 iron each. So that's our 2,000 whatever. That's how many smelters we need. And then I have the legs down there. So I do have a second floor blueprint. I don't have the materials to put it down, but if we were putting a second floor in, where is it? Smelter's second floor. I'm going to put it approximately there. I know it's got to go down one. I don't know if it's in the right orientation. It is not. It's got to go back another. That's the wrong button. Okay. So I can't build it, but that's what it would look like. And there's just enough room that I can walk on that catwalk. And there's just enough room I could do another 9 to 7 up there. So all of the iron we're bringing over, we can smelt it all. And I've got the possibility to double that at some point. And then over here, so that was 9 belts of iron. Now over here is going to be the copper and the Caterium. We have 3 copper. So instead of, if you think of this, each side's 4.5. So instead of doing 4.5, I'll have to do 3. But there's only 2 Caterium, but the Caterium is limited by belt speed right now because we're doing 240, but they're pure nodes. So I could do 480 out of each one if I had a belt that fast. So right now I need 9 to 7, 7 to 5, and 5 to 3 for copper. Eventually I'll need the 3 to 1 for Caterium, but right now the Caterium's all going to need the first 2. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put that down and it should come back there. Yep. Okay, so that's the same thing we've already put down. Got to see how to get through to the ladder. It's hard when the stuff is there, but I can't see it. Okay, so there's our 9 to 7. 7 to 5. Oh, only down 1. I just jumped too far. Yep. Knew that was going to happen. Stuck. Some of these ladders aren't in the best spot. Okay, and then we're going to have our 7 to 5. Nope. We're going to have our 5 to 3. Okay, so right now the Caterium needs all the way to here. And that'll be the last Caterium. The Caterium doesn't need that. The copper, well, and I think the copper's on this side. It doesn't really matter, but let's say the copper's on this side. The copper needs all the way to there. So the copper's going to use that much. The Caterium is going to go to here and stop. The Caterium doesn't need that. But when we get faster belts, we're going to need these, and we're going to need another set here for the Caterium. So the copper will be 1 short. The Caterium will go all the way except for the little half one down there. So that's the copper and Caterium. Now I've still got to go back through and I've got to connect at each blueprint point. So right there, I've got to connect that belt, that belt, that belt, that belt. The same thing underneath me here. You can see all of that has got to that and that and that. Yeah, yep. All that's got to connect together. Same thing on the other side. And then the power, the way I did the power, because again, I didn't want to run all the way up to the surface. I actually put, that's a Mark 1 power outlet. I put down floors at just the right height and was able to put the outlets down and nudge them around to where they line up perfectly with the machine. So the outlet is upside down, that's the bottom, and then the top is facing down. That way, when I connected it together, the wire is in there and you can't see it. And all you see is the wire connecting the machines together. And again, at the, wherever the blueprint point is, down here, I've got to connect that one to that one. Like that. I'm not going to do it because I'll throw myself off. I don't know that I can get back up here. Let's go back to the phone. And this one's also, you know, set up. We want to put a roof on. Now, I will come back on ones like this because this blueprint is set to where I could use it anywhere, and I don't know what's going to be next to it. When we have something like this, yeah, I'll take that one out. I'll take this one out, and we'll connect them together so you can just run straight through like that. So that is our steel, our iron, and then copper and Caterium, whichever way. On to the next one. Now we're on Constructors. Because what we've got down here is we've got the quartz. Ooh, can I get back? Oh, just missed it. We got the quartz and then we got the concrete. Let me, give me a second here. Okay, so back up here. I don't have the resources to do this, but I'll just show you. So the Constructors, I don't know how far back I need to go with the Constructors, right? Like, because the smelters are pretty consistent that it's 30 in and 30 out. Whether it's iron, copper, or Caterium. The Constructors, you're in and you're out. I mean, it wildly varies. So I couldn't quite do it like that where I had 9 to 7, 7 to 5. So we've got the Constructor one is a little more confusing. And yep, there. Yeah. Yep, and that's right. So that's the Constructor one. Like I said, I can't build it. It's got catwalks at the same height and the same location. So we'll be able to connect them together. Do I need that many conveyors running down here? Well, it depends. Like, what are the Constructors doing? These Constructors? No, we don't need that many. We're just bringing up the raw quartz and we're feeding it down both lines and we're making one product on each side, right? But I mean, sometimes you might be, if we're bringing down screws to do something, I might need like 10 belts of screws to come down. So we will need more than this. And these don't drop down. Basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is you just drop those down, connect them together, and they're done. This you can drop down like, oh, I need 40 Constructors. Okay, you can drop down 40, but you got to go in and like modify some things. And for the power here, I could not do it the same, unfortunately, because trying to run power through, it hits these little light bars. So instead I did like a steel beam there and yeah, that much stuff. So I got to gather resources to put this down. But before we do that, let me off camera make all the connections to connect all these blueprints together. And then we'll come back when I'm ready to connect up the stuff and we can start watching, you know, 1,000 and it's 1,080 on each one. So yeah, 2140 iron. Yeah, let's come back in a second. This is what it looks like at night. And keep in mind, there should still be a whole nother floor up there with lights. And then the roof will have lights for the top floor. Yeah, but see how they're all on? If I had used the regular lights, the actual lights, probably to there would be on and it would kind of like go back in a circle, but all of those would be off. And with the signs, I don't know, it just, number one, they look better than the lights, and then they work better than the lights, and they don't draw power. Unfortunately, I really like the devs in this game, but unfortunately they kind of made it to where there's really no reason why you should use the ceiling lights when you could use these and they're better in every single way. Yeah, and I'd be totally cool if these drew power too. I like exactly how the lights look. All right, so I was downstairs. I got everything hooked up down there. I've still got to hook stuff up here. So back in a sec. All right, I'm ready to turn on the steel. What I did, because I know, and I've said it a few times, those two iron nodes are doing 120 each right now. I could do 240 each and get 480 iron because that is a pure coal node over there that'll be able to do 480, but I don't have a belt that can go that fast. So right now I only need 6 of these. So I did put the second blueprint in but I just took the power off of these last two, and then I didn't, I connected the first blueprint of 4 to this blueprint of 4, but then I disconnected the belts here. So these two are just sitting here doing nothing because we only need 6 right now. When I get 480 belts, we're going to need these 2 and then another 4. So only the first 6 will be running, but that'll be all of our steel. So I should be ready to come over here. And I have no idea how much power we're going to draw. This isn't going to be that bad, but the the other one is. So we can see all that race down there. And of course, the steel's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to come back here and stop. It needs to go up through a floor hole. And like I put this here, but I don't know that that's going to stay there because somehow that needs to go up. And as you can see, we're making steel. So that'll run for a bit and then it'll shut off because it doesn't have anywhere to go, but that should take both full belts. Now over here, 9 belts of iron. I had to do this a little convoluted. This is where I have no idea how much. No, drop down one, please. Oh, you are dropped. That. And then that. That one. That one. And I just made them all Mark 1s. That was genius. That was really genius of me. Like I was saying, 3, 3, 3. 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, that is going to draw an insane amount of power. Assuming the blueprint doesn't have. Huh. I guess the blueprint doesn't have that. Oh boy. Okay, can I do it from here? Let's see. I missed something back here. Yep, missed that one. Okay, I think it's so hard to tell. That should be everything. Obviously not all of them are full. Okay, yep. Looks like I messed something up again. No? Why is this one not? This one seems way too stark. For sure I did something wrong. Yep, that's not enough. There's a Mark 1 belt somewhere on this line. Oh, here's your problem. Why is this not, why was that not connected? Always some troubleshooting to do. I didn't expect it was going to be all the way back here at the mine. Okay, that belt should be full. Okay, it's this belt. So it should Yeah, now it's full. Okay, that's that side good. Some of these are going to start filling up, unfortunately. Can I see? I can't. I need like an actual power pole. Why is that off the ground? Something wrong with that conveyor pole. What if I just did... Oh, we're only drawing 1,000. Okay. Some of them are shutting off though, aren't they? Yeah, like all of these. All of these are shutting off. Yeah. All right. Well, that just took me a little too long to, you know, there's bugs to work out. All right. So I haven't even got the next one ready yet. I've got to, yeah, got to do all that. Let me do that. Okay. I think I'm ready just for the Caterium. And what I did, so I already said right now we have 3 sets and we only need 2, but eventually we'll need 4. And I did connect this catwalk so I can run through right now. So what I did, since we've got 3 sets, right, but we only need 2, is instead of doing the first 2, I did this set, then I skipped this one, and then I came down and did this one. And that's because, right, eventually we're going to have the 480 belts. And the Caterium nodes are pure nodes. So then when we upgrade all the belts to 480, that first belt won't just feed 1, it'll feed 2. And then this one will feed 2. So it's set up on the 3rd one. And then when I put the 4th one in, right, that'll feed that. So that's why we're doing the Caterium, skipping 1, and then doing the Caterium, because eventually that'll work out. So you won't see anything there, but all of these should be going. Yep. Nothing here now. All of these should be going. And we should have, yep, Caterium on both of these. Perfect. All right, I got to do the copper now. And the copper is 3. And it'll just be, I guess, the first 3. I got to connect them together, though. Okay, I think I got the copper. Never can tell. Once I've got the last of those in there, then I'll put more stairs down here. So we should have 3 belts. And I don't know if you can tell how blurry it gets. I guess it's it's just too much. There's too many things moving on the screen. Oh, I have not. Yeah, I skipped a step. I set the other side to Caterium. I did not set this side to copper. Let's do this again. I won't really be able to tell how well this stuff is running because the first one stops by the time the last one, you know, starts, so you can't really tell. And if they're all on at once, I think we've already exceeded how much power we're producing. So we're very quickly gonna have power issues. Oh, there's not 4 yet. That's why. Yes. The copper comes all the way down. The Caterium uses, so the copper uses 1, 2, and 3. The Caterium uses 1 and 3. When we get the 480 belts, the first belt will do 1 and 2, and the next belt will do 3 and 4. So we'll eventually, when we get the 480 belt, I'll need another set, but only for this side. I'll be able to delete all the ones on this side. Okay, so that is, well, that's everything to ingots, right? Copper, Caterium, iron, and steel. So those are all of our ingot production. Because what's next is going to be the quartz and the concrete, which is a bunch of constructors. Yeah, and then at some point I'll come back and I'll change these signs and figure all this stuff out. But, you know, no hurries there. All right, let me look at this next step. Okay, I think I got this ready. I had it set to 1, but I couldn't come out, split, and go there. So I put the splitter downstairs, and I'm hoping... that I'll be able to do this. And I don't need that belt there either. Okay. So this side, I've got these underclocked to 80, which is going to use 30 quartz per. So 30, 60, 90, 120. And we're not using the last one, right? Because that's a 240 belt. Well, it's a 270 belt, but we're going to pretend it's a 240 belt. So those 4 are going to make the quartz crystals. And then this side's going to use 120. And to make the math work out, I had to add an extra one down here. And then these are all clocked to 88.8880. Yeah. So these use 20. So 6 times 20 is 120, right? So the 240, and I could totally get rid of all of these. Yeah, I shouldn't need them. And I don't know how much quartz one truck brings over. And I don't know, like, I can add more trucks. Do I need 1 truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks? I don't know how much of this stuff I need. So this is kind of a guessing game. With the other ones, we just brought everything over. I don't know exactly what everything would be with the quartz, because I could just keep adding trucks. So I don't think I necessarily need to bring 2 full, because were those pure nodes? I don't remember, but I don't think I need that much quartz. Maybe I do. I'm not sure, but we'll add more if we have to. So we're making the quartz and the quartz crystals, and probably we need to make the concrete, but I think we're probably at the wrapping up point. I was hoping to get everything done all the way down, but we got to do the concrete, and then we got to do the sulfur and the coal into here so we can do gunpowder and compacted coal, and then the SAM stuff's got to go here, and I got to go. Yeah, so I think that's enough for one episode. I think we got quite a lot done. Oh, look at that. Where'd that guy come from? Hidden foundation. So yeah, pretty good episode. So I guess next time we'll continue that. We'll have to go up here and bring stuff up and then start processing more things. I very quickly, once I start processing more things, can tear all this temporary stuff down that I've got over here. We'll be able to disconnect the old, come on, get up there. Come on, get up there. Give me a little Skyrim jump. All right, we'll be able to tear that down too. So I don't know that we're going to do that next time, but yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. See you next time.